survivor, optimist, Colombian. My name is Laura Ulloa, and I am a goalkeeper. In 2001, I was heading back from school in the school bus when guerrilla members from the FARC hijacked the bus where I was going to my house. And from that day on, I was kidnapped for 7 months. Realizing that the guerrilla members suffered more than I did made me change completely my perception. So my reaction was to help them. And I feel really happy that the country it's being interested now in listening and in sharing a different story as it is my story. And I feel very responsible also to be able to change the mindset in many people and make them realize that forgiveness and reconciliation is a much more easier path, not only to achieve peace in our country, but peace in ourselves.
أهلا معكم مشاهدينا وين ما كنتوا عم بتتابعونا بلبنان وبالعالم. ضيفة اليوم ضيفة مميزة رح تكون لورا أوجوا غونزاليز، هالامرأة يلي فعلا أنا وقتها كنت عم بحضر للمقابلة وكنت عم شوف عن جد حياتها لورا مرقت بفترات كتير صعبة من حياتها، خاصة بمرحلة الطفولة والمراهقة. كان في مأساة بمرحلة من حياتها، اختطفت وواجهت كل أشكال يمكن التعذيب النفسي، ولكن قدرت تنتصر على واقعها وعلى ماضيها، تسامح يلي غدروا فيها وتقدر انه تنقلنا هالطاقة الإيجابية لنا. So we are so glad to have you, Mrs. Laura Ulloa Gonzalez. رح احكي شوي لمحة عنها للورا قبل ما ننتقل لها وتخبرنا أكثر وأكثر عن تجربتها. So Laura Ulloa Gonzalez, she was born in 1990 in Colombia. In 1999, she and her family were victims of one of the biggest mass kidnappings when a group of guerrilla members dressed in military fatigues captured around 300 people attending church. Laura and her family were able to escape that day, but 2 years later, on September 2001, member of the terrorist group FARC blocked Laura's bus's school and took her as the sole hostage. She was held captive for 7 months. She is now or currently writing a book about her story in a country with more than 60 years of war and 20 millions of victims. She is a political scientist from the University of the Andes with a specializations in organizations, social responsibility and development. She has most recently worked as a project coordinator at the Corona Foundation. We are really so glad to have you. Plus, she worked at the Colombian Agency for Reintegrations, helping demobilized guerrilla members in the process of adapting to the modern society. Really, we are so glad to have you, Laura. This is a briefing about Laura's life story. Let us welcome with us Laura on Mariam TV. And with the first question, Laura, who was Laura before September 2001? عم بسأل لورا مين كانت لورا قبل الحادثة يلي ألمت بيها ب20 أيلول عام 2001.
I was born and raised in Cali, Colombia, by a beautiful family conformed by my dad, my mother, my sister, who's 4 years younger than me, and me. I was very lucky to be born in a family that was able to give me all the best education. And that's the reason I went to a private school in my hometown where I was receiving a very, very good education. I thought school wasn't very nice, but truth is that I wasn't exactly the sweetest girl. I used to be a little bit bitter and I used to be a little bit spoiled, so I didn't have a lot of friends. But very sadly, I thought when I was a girl that all of the girls and boys my age around the world had the same privileges as I did, and that we all were very blessed, and all these blessings would last forever. But the sad part is that sometimes you don't know what you have until you lose it, and that's exactly what happened to me when I turned 11 years old.
نعم، لورا بتقول انه خلقت بعائلة كتير حلوة وكانت تحس كتير انها محظوظة بهيدي العائلة. خلقت بعائلة منحتها فرصة التعلم بمدرسة خاصة وتلقت احسن التعليم الإديوكيشن. ما كان عندها كتير اصحاب بالمدرسة، كان شوي طبعها قاسي وشخصيتها غير عن الباقي، وكنت تفكر انه كل الاولاد بالعالم عايشين حياة حلوة مثل حياتها، بيروحوا على المدرسة بيتعلموا، منهم معذبين عند اهلهم، محظوظين بعيالهم. كنت تفكر انه كل الاولاد بالعالم مثلها، ولكن هذا ما طلع the case. مش هيك طلعت القصة عند كل الاولاد بالعالم. لورا, what happened on September 20, 2001؟ عم بسأل لورا شو يلي صار معها تحديداً بنهار 20 أيلول 2001.
On September 21st, 2001, I was going home in the school bus. We were going through a very narrow road which leads to my house when suddenly there were 2 cars parked in the road and the bus had to stop. Immediately as the bus stopped, 5 guys went inside the bus. They were all armed. They had their faces covered with black cloth, and the first one who got inside the bus pointed with his gun towards the ceiling of the bus and shouted to all of us, "Everybody down." We all did so, and seconds later I felt how a big rusty hand was grabbing my arm and pulling me out of the bus. Next, they put me in one of the cars that was parked in blocking the street, and the driver started to drive towards the end of the road where the mountains begin. And by mountains, I mean a big mountain range, which is a huge jungle in Colombia. When the car arrived, they took me out of the car, and we started to walk inside the jungle. Minutes later, I started to see from far away the real guerrilla members walking towards me. These guys and girls, these guys and men and women, they were all dressed in camouflage. They were walking towards us. When we were close enough, one of the guys who got into the bus and who were with me said, "Laura, we are going to be with you until now, but now you will follow them and you will go with this guerrilla." I remember I don't know if I said bye or something, but I just started to walk towards these guerrillas, and after I have given 3 steps, I felt again the same rusty hand grabbing my arm, but this time pulling me towards him and hugging me so strong I was able to feel his heart beating on my chest as he was saying, "Laura, please forgive me. I am sorry for what you've done." Can you imagine what I was feeling in that moment? This was the guy who just kidnapped me minutes ago, and now he was asking for my forgiveness. I was in shock by that time. At that moment, I wasn't even able to speak, nor to cry, nothing. And I only remember saying, "Don't worry."
نعم، بتقول لورا انه بهالنهار كانت راجعه من المدرسه على البيت بباص المدرسه، وفجاه بتوقفهم سياره وبينزل منها 5 رجال فاتوا على الباص وكانوا ملتمين وجوههم منا مبينه وحاملين اسلحه وطلبوا منهم انه يستسلموا. وفجاه بتحس انه في ايد قويه كمشتها للورا واخذتها برات الباص، حطوها بالسياره وراحوا راحوا صوب محل مجهول. بتقول انه وشافت جبال، يعني شافت أفق مسدود. من بعدها نزلوها من السيارة وصاروا يمشوا بالغابات، وهيدي الإيد القوية حست رجعت فيها وكمشتها وشدتها صوبها، وبتسمع حدا عم بيقول لها لورا سامحيني بليز، أنا بعتذر منك على اللي عملته معك. وهون كانت الصدمة لها إنه في شخص عم بيقول لها سامحيني. بحديث كمان خاص مع لورا عرفنا إنه هذا الشخص هو الشخص اللي كان يهتم بالحديقة بالبيت عندها، يلي كان يلعبها هي صغيرة ويهتم فيها. للأسف برطلوه هول العصابة بمبلغ من المال مقابل بين هلالين بيعة للورا. وهيك صار. هذا الشخص حاليا توفى، ولكن ألقوا القبض عليه قبل ب5 أيام مما يطلقوا سراحة. سجن لمدة 3 سنوات وتوفى من 3 سنين. وبتقول إنه هي ما كرهته، وأنا بسامحه على القرار يلي قرر ياخده وقتها. قبل بالمصاري مقابل إنه يختطفني ويسلمني لهالعصابة. نسأل لورا هلا what happened لورا during the time you were captured. شو اللي صار بالوقت اللي كنت محجوزة فيه أو خاطفينك فيه؟
I was held captive for 7 months, and I can say during the first months that was hell to me. I didn't understand why I had to be there, why this was happening to me, as I was the only student of all in the bus who could be kidnapped. That was kidnapped. Also, I didn't accept the fact that was my reality, and I fight against it for many months. During the first 3 months, I even tried to be as spoiled and as bitter and bad as I could for them thinking that maybe they will get sick of me and release me. But that never happened. And one day I felt more alone as ever. And the truth is that I was very alone because I wanted to be alone, because I didn't want to speak to them, because every time any of them tried to tell me something, my response will be aggressive and not nice. So one day I decided maybe I should take another path, and maybe I should change my strategy. And I remember I woke up early and I went to the place they were having breakfast at, and I stand in front of all of them. There were about 40 gorillas there, and I said, "Hello, good morning." And they all turned their heads to me and they were like, "What's going on?" And I remember saying, "Did you sleep well? Are you okay?" And they were, "Yeah, did you sleep well?" He said, "Yes." "Well, would you like to come with us and bring some wood from the forest?" And at first I was a little bit afraid, but then I said yes. I went. And for the first time in 4 months approximately, I felt useful for the first time. I remember bringing very small parts of wood, but collaborating for the fire and feeling myself useful was very important. And after that day, I said to myself, I really want to understand why these people are here. So I started to question them. I started to ask them, why were they there? And they had different reasons. They had some reasons of extreme poverty. There was not enough food in their houses. Some of them were threatened. And especially the story of one girl was very touching for me. And when I asked her, she almost cried. I remember the look in her eyes, and she said, "Laura, do you really want to know why I came here?" And I answered yes. And she said, "Okay, I came here because my stepfather used to abuse me." And I remember when she said that, I didn't even understand what an abuse meant. And this is to say the difference between when I was an 11-year-old going to a private school in a loving family with a very positive network and circle around me, and her time when she was 11 years old was not as nice as me. And at this point I I was just beginning to understand the real country we were living in and the real people they were.
نعم، بتقول انه خطفوها لمدة 7 اشهر. اول شهر كان جحيم بالنسبة لها، ما كانت تعرف ليش صار معها هيك، ليش هي اللي نقوها من بين كل التلاميذ اللي كانوا موجودين بالباص، وما قدرت تضل يعني ما قدرت تتقبل الواقع يلي كانت عم بتعيشه، وعملت المستحيل، وكانت كتير ثقيلة معهم، وكتير كانت تعصب عليهم وتنفجر من الغضب. لعله كانوا قدروا يفلتوها، ولكن كانت دايما عنيفة معهم. وبيوم قررت انه تعمل العكس، تتعاطى معهم بطريقة افضل. قامت بنهار من كتير بكير وراحت صوبهم وقالت لهم صباح الخير. فهن يعني تفاجئوا، سألتهم إذا ناموا منيح وقالوا لها إنه إيه، وسألوها إذا بتروح معهم بتجيب حطب، وهيك صار. راحت وصارت تلقوت حطب، وقررت منها نهار انه بدها تفهم ليش هالاشخاص قرروا انه يعملوا بحالهم هيك ويعملوا اعمال مشينة بحق اشخاص تانيين وقاسية بحق اشخاص تانيين. ومن هديك الفترة بلشت تسألهم عن الاسباب، وبلشت كمان تسأل الاشخاص، ومن ضمنهم فتاة او امرأة كانت موجودة من بين هالعصابة. وقت قعدت معها بلشت تبكي هيدي المرأة، وكانت تقول انه زوج امها كان يعتدي عليها، ان كان بالضرب او غيره، وقررت تلتحق بهذه العصابه هربا من الواقع اللي هي عم بتعيشه. وهون بتقول انه بلشت افهم البلد اللي انا عايشه فيه والمأساة اللي موجوده بهذا البلد وعند الناس. لورا، how were you able to forgive them؟ كيف قدرت انك تسامحيهم لهالاشخاص؟
When I started to ask them about their lives and their stories, and to kind of discover the realness behind those suits or behind those uniforms, I was very touched. I realized that the monsters, or the ones I thought they were monsters, were also humans. And I realized I couldn't hate someone who suffered more than I did, because I had two opportunities, or two options, let's say, or I was killed there, and if that happened, that would have been very sad to my parents, but no one could take away the fact that I've lived a happy life until then. Or the other option, that I was released, and if I was released, that would say that I would go back to my house, to my loving family, go back to school, and perhaps have various opportunities in life to thrive. But what about them? How could I hate someone who was so harmed by life? How could I hate someone that would never see their parents again? And how, most important, could I hate someone who suffered more than I did? So when I understood that, I say, I can't hate them, I must forgive them.
نعم، بتقول انه بس بلشت تحكي معهم عن حياتهم الشخصية، بلشت تكتشف الحقيقة خلف هالبدلات وهالوجوه القاسية، تأثرت وعرفت انه هالوحوش هن ناس وهن بشر بالنهاية كمان مثلنا او مثلها. وكان عندها خيارين، هي بالنسبة لها، هي كلورا كان عندها خيارين: انها تنقتل هونيك وعائلتها تزعل عليها، او انها ترجع على بيتها، ولكن هن او الافراج عنها. ولكن هن هؤلاء الاشخاص اللي بينتموا للعصابات ما عندهم خيارين، عندهم خيار واحد اللي هو الهروب من واقعهم واللجوء الى هيدي العصابات. ما كان عندهم خيار، وفهمت ليش عندهم هالقساوة كلها بشخصيتهم وبحياتهم، وفهمت انه ما رح تقدر تكرههم، ولكن رح تكون عم بتسامحهم بحياتها. نعم، لورا، what would you say to someone who don't want to forgive or does not believe in forgiveness؟ عم بسأل لورا انه شو بتقول للشخص اللي ما بده يسامح او حتى ما بيآمن بفكرة التسامح.
My country, Colombia, have lived in war for more than 50 years with various terrorist groups, and the toll of victims have been more than 20 million. It's been a disaster in this country, and now we've signed peace with one of the guerrilla groups, with the FARC, the ones who kidnapped me, but we're still holding conversations with others. What would I say to someone who doesn't want to forgive? First of all, I understand if someone doesn't want to forgive. yet. Because forgiveness doesn't have a plan. There's no such time for forgiving. There's not a certain amount of time you should wait to forgive. Because we all suffer in different ways. Because we all receive pain and hold pain and our grievances in different forms. So what happened to me, that maybe I can forgive in a determined time, doesn't mean that if someone received the same amount of harm, they should or they would forgive in the same amount of time. Forgiveness is a personal path. It's a personal process. But what I would say to someone who doesn't want to forgive, who doesn't allow even the fact of thinking of someday forgiving, is that forgiveness is a very selfish thing to do. And I call it selfish because whenever we forgive someone, we must think that we're doing it for ourselves. We do not forgive others for them to feel a relief. We forgive others for us to let go of the pain they're causing inside. For us to let go of that weight we're carrying in our life. Because we don't want to feel that weight. We don't want to carry that grudge, because we want to have more space in our hearts to be able to fill it with love rather than with hate.
نعم، بتقول لورا انه بلدها كولومبيا مرق كتير بفترات صعبة، وكانت الحكومة يعني من قبل يعني كان في صراع بين الحكومة والميليشيات، وراح حوالي 20 مليون ضحية بوقتها. وهلأ وقعوا اتفاقية مع منظمة فارك الكولومبية يلي اختطفوها بال 2001. وأنا بفهم كل شخص كان قاسي معي وبقدر سامحه، لأنه كلنا عنا أوجاع ولكن كلنا منعاني بطريقة مختلفة. المسامحة هو عمل شخصي نابع من الشخص، وكل ما منسامح الشخص منكون عم نرتاح مع حالنا ومن الوجع يلي بداخلنا. لورا، how did this experience shaped your life؟ كيف هالتجربة يعني رسمت حياتك إذا فينا نقول؟
From the moment I was released, I was very happy to know that I was going back to my family, back to my school. But I couldn't stop thinking about the fact that all the people I've left behind, all of these guerrillas that I've met throughout these 7 months, were staying there without any chance of going back to their families. Many of them had sadly made a really bad decision in their lives whenever they decided to join the guerrilla, because once you join a guerrilla, you can never go back to your house, to your family. So I couldn't stop thinking about that, and I decided that I wanted to help them. Actually, the first thing I thought was maybe I should go back to the guerrilla and join them when I finished school. But that never happened. When I was about to graduate, I decided I would study political science because I wanted to understand better the conflict in our country, in Colombia, in order to be able to help solve it. After I graduated, I went for a scholarship to the United Nations in New York, specifically to the Security Council, where I was able to learn more about the experiences of other countries that were able to overcome their conflicts and now are in peace, but also some other countries who are still struggling in that path. With more knowledge and more information, I came back to Colombia and I started to work at the Colombian Agency for Reintegration, which is the program the government has to reintegrate into society all of these ex-combatants who have decided to leave the guerrilla. Of course, all these people escape from the guerrilla knowing that they can be caught and killed. Since that moment on, I started to work with them, and I think I would do that always. Of course, from different places. I worked with the reintegration program for almost 2 years, and then I went to a foundation where I was able to help better the education in many of the poorest schools and poorest places of Colombia, where many kids believe the only way they have out of poverty is to join an armed group. So after I was there for 4 years, and after that I decided I wanted to take a break and I started to write a book, which is what I am doing right now. But as I say, I think I will always have to help, especially create awareness about the importance of knowing that all these people from the guerrilla members who are not anymore in the guerrilla, who are struggling and trying to reintegrate back into society, as society, we must welcome them back. I know there's been a lot of harm done. There's a lot of victims in Colombia. There are many wounds which are still open, but we have to give space to forgiveness in order to build back a society we can live for our future generations.
نعم، بتقول لارا انه اكيد كانت كتير مبسوطه من بعد ما افرجوا عنا وعودتها لحياتها الطبيعيه، بس هول الاشخاص تركتهم وراها، هول الاشخاص اللي كانوا حابين يكونوا مواطنين صالحين بس ما قدروا لكثير ظروف استثنائيه صارت بحياتهم، واجتها مره فكره جنونيه انها ترجع لعندهم وتساعدهم، ولكن بس خلصت من المدرسه قررت تتخصص بالعلوم السياسيه لتفهم الصراع الكولومبي، وبعدين راحت على الامم المتحده بنيويورك لتشتغل مع مجلس الامن لتفهم الصراعات الدوليه اكثر. ورجعت اشتغلت بكولومبيا مع منظمة بتساعد الأشخاص اللي تركوا العصابات وقرروا يرجعوا مواطنين صالحين داخل الدولة لإعادة تأهيلهم. وبتقول إنه عندها كتير أصحاب بهيدا المجال، وحاليا هن بيشتغلوا رجعوا لحياتهم طبيعيه وعم بيساعدوا عيالهم. عملت بمنظمه بتهتم بالفقراء يلي هن مش قادرين يفوتوا يمكن على مدارس، وحاليا عم تكتب كتاب عن تجربتها الشخصيه وعن اختطافها، وخلي العالم تفهم انه هؤلاء الاشخاص يلي موجودين بالعصابات هن اشخاص مثلنا مثلهم، ولكن بحاجه كتير لمساعدتنا. لورا tell us more about your book. عم بسأل لورا عن الكتاب يلي حضرتها بصدد انها يعني تطلقه وحاليا هي عم تكتبه.
Well, I've been writing a book for the last 2 years. This book is about my memories of the time being kidnapped. It's been a lovely journey. I won't say I will say it has also been a little bit difficult in some parts, thinking about everything that happened to me when I was 11 years old. Every time I get older, I think it's more difficult to understand, because now I'm 30 years old. I was 11 when I was kidnapped, so now I see an 11-year-old girl, and I can't imagine what was the feeling what was the suffering for my parents, and of course all my family and friends, because it is, for me, even though it was very hard, I was the one there. I knew that I was not getting wet. I knew that they were not hitting me or doing bad things to me, but my parents didn't have any information of me. So that was very, very, very hard. But I'm very happy, and now in quarantine time I've been writing a lot, and well, I hope my book can be ready for next year, and I will keep you posted whenever I have a date for the release.
بتقول لورا انه من سنتين بلشت تكتب هذا الكتاب، وهو عباره عن الذكريات بالحجز، وبتقول انه كانت صعبه ولكن تعلمت الكثير من هالتجربه، وكل مره بتكبر بالعمر بتشوف البنت اللي عمرها 11 سنه وقت اختطفت، هي كان عمرها 11 سنه، بتفكر قديش صعبه عليها وعلى عائلتها وقديش قضوا بهيدي الفتره. حاليا هي كثير مبسوطه، بتقول انه انا كثير مبسوطه هلا بالحجر الصحي لانه عم بيصح لي الوقت اني اتابع كتابه الكتاب عن التجربه يلي عشتها، وان شاء الله انه السنه اللي جايه بيبصر النور الكتاب. نحن عن جد لورا بنتمنى لك كل التوفيق. I was honored to have you with us in this interview, Laura. You are really a hero. And I wish you a great career, a great life. I wish you all the success in the world. And really, really, Laura, we are so proud to have a woman like you in our world because we need it the most. مشاهدينا على أمل تكون هالمقابلة نالت إعجابكم. لو قد ما كانت ظروفنا صعبة ولو بشو مرقنا بحياتنا من مآسي ومثل ما بنقول تراجيدي مآسي بحياتنا، نتعلم نسامح مش كرمال غيرنا ولكن كرمالنا وكرمال جروحاتنا وكرمال نحن نصح من الجرح يلي أثر فينا بمرحلة معينة من حياتنا. شكرا مشاهدينا لمتابعتكم وإلى اللقاء.
The Young Leader Award is given to a young individual at the grassroots level whose extraordinary efforts are contributing to peace and also bringing young people together. Our honoree in this category has an incredible story of survival. Most people who have gone through ordeals she has been through would have either given up, or she decided to keep going and not take the low profile. So I salute you, Laura. Instead, she has done the opposite and has dedicated her life to helping those that once held her back. Every kid faces challenges and has gone through experiences while growing up. Challenges present two options: shrink and hide, or use a tough situation as motivation to go forward and fix things that aren't right. I was raised in the housing projects of East Los Angeles, where there were plenty of challenges, including gangs, drugs, and plaguing our community with things that would just bring us down as people. Music became my passion and my path out of the hood. Meeting Laura tonight and talking to her about her journey has been so inspirational to me. So whether you're from Cali, Colombia, or Cali, East LA, global goals that we celebrate here tonight are universal. When bad things happen, we ask ourselves, where is the love? Well, the love is right here with Laura, who found her inner strength and is using it to bring people together. She is a great example of a young leader who has harnessed her determination to drive change for good. Please welcome the winner of the Young Goalkeeper Award, Laura Ulloa.
Good evening, and thank you UNICEF and to the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation for supporting and empowering young people, especially girls and women, in our efforts for making this world a better place for the coming generations. At the age of 9 years old, I was kidnapped together with my mother, my little sister, and 200 other people while attending church in Cali, Colombia. That day we were released, but others remained captive for a long time. 2 years later, I was the sole hostage when the FARC guerrilla hijacked my school bus. 7 months later, I returned back home. Despite living this ordeal, I have dedicated my life to helping former guerrillas reintegrate into society. Tomorrow marks 16 years since my second abduction, and today I stand before you honored and humbled by the recognition bestowed upon me. But I received this award not as Laura Ulloa,
but on behalf of the millions of victims 50 years of war has left in Colombia. I am here representing those Colombians who, despite their suffering, were able to move on and build a better life, a better future for themselves, their families, and their communities. Those who bet on forgiveness and reconciliation, those who are today building peace in Colombia. As a goalkeeper and as a survivor, I celebrate life and reject death. I will keep on trying to open people's heart to forgiveness and reconciliation so we can recover our confidence in each other and the solidarity among us to make it easier for peace to settle. I want to strengthen the role of education in guiding our youth towards a brighter future. I want to eliminate the notion that joining a guerrilla movement is a career path. I want our children to reach for the stars, not for weapons. I will keep telling my story and trying to steer the conversation towards peace, not war. I will not stop until I feel I have left behind a country better off than how I found it. And although I am optimistic about peace, one person alone cannot move mountains, so I ask for your help tonight. Don't let us lose momentum in this difficult and long journey towards peace. Thank you very much.